This is how it's going. Is this shirt distracting?
It's Tua.
Under pressure, pushing down on me. Peer pressure when we don't know what to do. Under pressure, it's peer pressure from your peers today with you. Today I want to talk about peer pressure. Peer pressure is this thing that we experience no matter where you are in your stage of life, who your friends groups are. We have pressure from our peers. If you Google what is the definition of peer pressure, it will say influences from members of one's peer group. Now, your peer group can look totally different. That's why in our last video, Nick talked about the importance of having a Christian community surrounding you. But peer pressure can look really different for different people. I'm like a really picky eater. I pretty much think of a palate of a 7-year-old, and that's the kind of food that I like to eat. And my husband likes to eat everything, and he just pressures me all the time to eat just disgusting foods. Like I'll just be somewhere and I ordered my chicken strips, and he orders like poke. I don't even know what poke is, and it's like fish eggs or something, I don't know. And he like always tries to get me to eat it. And he's like, just try it, just try it, just try it. I'm like, no, I don't want it, no, I don't want it. And eventually I'm like, okay. And I like, because he's told me 1,000 times, like, you'll love it, try it, try it, try it. I'm eating it. And I just find myself in this position where I don't want to be doing the thing that I'm doing, but for some reason I'm doing it because he's pressured me to do it. I don't know if you've ever found yourself in that situation where you're like doing something that you don't want to do, but someone has like got you to do it. This can be a ton of different things. It can be eating a certain item like this, or it could be going to a party, wearing a certain outfit, behaving a certain way. There's times where we find ourselves, we're like, I don't even know why I'm doing this, because someone's pressured you to do it. And for me, my husband, thankfully, he really wants the well-being for me. He's great. And he really wants me just to enjoy poke. But there also might be some people in your life where they're not doing it for the well-being of you, but just because it's a cool, fun thing to do. Have you ever found yourself in a place where you're doing something because of the pressure around the people around you? You might even be able to think of them right now. There's been a time in your life, maybe you're caught doing a sport or an activity that maybe you never saw yourself signing up for. Maybe you are in a relationship that you're like, I don't know why I'm dating this person, but it was because everyone else told you that you should date them. There's tons of pressures around the people around us. And I think for me, majority of the time, it's because I want to fit in with the people around me. It's because I want to impress them. I want them to like me. And if we're so caught finding our worth from the people around us, we stop thinking for ourselves. There's this passage, it's do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And in this verse, it's like saying, hey, the world is gonna tell you to act one way, to behave one way, but how can you live your life that's different from the people around you? And I think that for a lot of that is just realizing that you don't have to seek their approval. You don't have to do it because they say it's cool, because they are gonna like you because of it. Paul, he writes in Galatians. He says, I'm not seeking the approval of man or of God. Am I trying to please man? If I were trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. Your life as a Christian, it might be different from the people around you. But if you're a servant of Christ, you realize that he is your approval. He's the one you're trying to seek approval to, not those people. As a Christian, I think you can live your life and not be so concerned what everyone else is telling you and how you should live. But instead follow after what God says and how he tells you to live your life. Does that mean your life isn't going to be fun and exciting and you can't, because Christianity isn't this like rule book of everything you don't and can't do, but it's not, your life will just be different. That instead you can be seeking the approval of God and not your peers. And if you're worried you're not going to be able to have fun because you're not participating in this thing that everyone else is participating in and you're choosing not to, first of all, you're wrong. You're gonna have fun. You can have fun as a believer without participating in things that make you feel uncomfortable. And two, I think you're missing the point of what our life's all about. Our life isn't meant to fit in with our friend groups. Our life isn't just to make people like us. That's not why we have purpose as believers, as Christians. Instead, we have a purpose and a calling that's so much greater than just being liked by our peers. And so remember that anytime you have peer pressure from the people around you to act a certain way, to behave, to do a certain thing, is remembering, where does my worth come from? And how am I living my life with that mission, who is Jesus?